Peace. I was going back over the forecast I made on the full moon of Gemini that occurred on the 8th of December 2022 at 4:07 GMT. So we're talking about Great Britain, that time zone, okay? In this post, I'm going to be focusing on the themes I highlighted that would occur based on the birth chart that I did for the UK. And I've been studying the UK's birth chart for a little bit just because I want to master the art of mundane astrology that deals with politics, finance, all of that kind of great stuff. So, it's been 2 weeks as we're approaching a new moon in Capricorn. It's time to reflect on the full moon phase. And it's also time to let go of what didn't work in our personal lives during that time. So then we are empty to be filled with what will be working and what we want to work moving forward. Okay. So in your personal, if you go back to the reading, I did give keynote for the personal zodiacs. You can go through that, have a reflection. But on this post, I'm going to simply be focusing on the entirety of the United Kingdom. Great. So 2 weeks ago on the full moon of Gemini, I predicted these highlights. National disaster related to young people. Transport mishaps, educational mishaps or mishaps based with the educational system. Our sexual health or matters related to sex and matters related to our environment as well. So these were the 5 things that I predicted that would be highlighted mainly on our news and what would also experience. So 2 weeks later, I'm recording this today on the 20th of December 2022 at 7:28. So we're 2 weeks, we're 2 weeks in effect of when that new moon happened, that full moon happened, as we're now approaching the full new moon. So what did that full moon in Gemini, how did that manifest from the predictions that I made? So let's break it down. So I broke it down with matters related to our environment. Let's look at that first. Matters related to our environment. So the government approves a go-ahead of a coal mine in the northwest England. Like, a coal mine in this small island? Is that even good for us over here? Like, I don't even know. Okay. Moving on. And the other point, still related to our environment, the eco-design wood burners are killing us, y'all. It's killing us. Apparently, they produce 450 times more toxin pollution than gas central heating. This data is according to the Chief Medical Officer of England. So yeah, you can't quote me on that, but that's what's been said. Snow is the other point I want to make related to our environment. We got that snow. Yay. I don't like snow. But we got icy times for London and the large parts of the UK. This caused school to shut down and also put a bit more concern on the energy crisis that's already happening over here. So yeah, those are the matters related to the environment that I predicted 2 weeks ago, and it's interesting to see how they came up in fruition. Is there anything else related to the environment that you believe happened I didn't mention on here, or you didn't see in the news? Like the snow one, it was in the news, but when I was kind of like going back on the accolades, they were not trying to make that like an environmental thing, but really it is. Okay, so matters related to transport and also adding to that health. I didn't add health before, but I just thought they were kind of related. So these are the things that manifested, and I'm gonna definitely look out to why that occurred. So matters related to health. So the ambulance strike is still set to happen from the 21st to the 28th of December, and this will last 24 hours. That will cause delays for patients. Also, the nurses are striking. they striked from the 15th to 20th, so it should be done by now. Sliding nicely into the educational mishaps and national disaster related to young children. So this thing called strap A, I hope they don't put a little doctor thing at the bottom of my post because I said that name, but if they do, it's fine. I won't take it personally. So yeah, children under the age of 15, they were saying, were affected by this strap A disaster, disease. So and sadly 15 children have died in the UK because of this. So peace to their families. You know, that's not an easy thing to deal with. And on top of going on with natural disasters related to children, young people, 4 young children died playing around a frozen pond. And also a child was thrown at a frozen pond because they were dead. They were dead 20 pounds, and then they were like, no, and then they were thrown into the pond, and then they were laughed at. So that's definitely a disaster. It's not nice news, and this is what happened. Okay, so moving on to our sexual health and matters related to or matters related to sex. Now, the only biggest news I found on this was that the public sexual harassment bill you know, was definitely backed by the government on the 9th of December 2022. And this was basically put in effect because it wants to help tackle the violence against women and young girls in our society in the UK. And this strategy was brought on because they want to go ahead to lead into harsher sentences for those people who feel like they want to cause a type of violence. So this would be really interesting to see how this plays out. But that will be interesting to see how that plays out. I will be doing, that's the end of it. And what I said came into play. That's really grateful for the stars. I didn't just psychically think this up. I looked at the maths, the geometry, and there was so much more that could have been done. But I'm a newbie in this, and I'm grateful to be learning this. So I'll be doing these videos consistently as I'm, studying mundane astrology. And I like this fast-hand approach. And since currently I'm in the UK, I'll be focusing on the UK. But whatever country I'll be traveling to, that's where my access will be pointed at. So yeah, that's excited. I still do natal charts and other astrological readings. So if you are interested in any of my services, pop ahead to my website. Hey, thank you. Peace.